Alright, you guys. It's Altoids again. No, I'm going to try not to speak Eltonese. Trust me. Okay, now, these are the bullies. I've been running one on the Minxie, and this is a twist. I can actually get a pretty good pull on both of these. This is just a standard Ego. And I've been running it on this. And this one's set at 2 ohms, actually. I just tested it now. Granted, it sounds crazy, but you can put a rebuild on an Ego. It's not suggested because if you ever get a short, your Ego battery will go kabooey. It'll be garbage. But works just fine. I know there's a few quirks to these, and I've been saying that for quite a while now. I've noticed every single one I've had to put a dang O-ring on it. And these are actually from the inside cardos from OCD's tanks or cheap lava tube tanks or whatever tanks I can find. I mean, that's what I've been using mostly of. And it helps line these holes up. And when I say a hole, and most people know this that do rebuilds, there's a hole right there, and that's got to line up horizontal. It's got to line up with your coil. My coil's sitting on this side right now, right there. See, there's the hole, and there's my coil sitting. And so then that way the airflow is going across the coils. You can't go sideways on the coils because you're going to get a real nasty taste to it. I've had to drill most of mine out. I mean, if you like a stiff, tight draw, leave it alone. It'll be fine. Try it, see if you like it. If you don't, take a Dremel drill or a very small drill. Start out about the size of a safety pin. That's what I found works the best, is about the size of a safety pin. It works really well. That's the only quirk I know. And see, what I'm talking about is, okay, you can take a Sharpie and mark it where your coil is so it can line up right. So right there's my coil. I would mark it with a Sharpie or hold my finger there. When you put your cap on, you got to make sure that hole lines up either on the front of it or on the back side of it. Depends on how you like your draw. I like it on the back side when I'm running lower ohms. It just doesn't get that hot hit to it. You know, it actually works pretty good. I mean, it works every time as long as you do that one thing. That's the biggest thing about these rebuilds. I didn't know that. I've had several people tell me, by the way, you got to do it this way and that way. And now that I discovered that, it works really well. I mean, I tried for a whole day solid until someone talked to me and got it straightened out. And then this is a twist at 4 volts. It takes a little while to get those coils going really good. After a few good hits, you'll get the coils nice and warm. The twist does heat up pretty good. I mean, you've got to set it down once in a while. Now, my Minxie is a different story. I can crank on this sucker all the time. It ain't going to hurt nothing in it. If it gets hot, it just shuts down, and that's fine. And I've never had that happen yet. But this is actually a 3 ohm. Now, what I have found is that these tops, not all tips are created equally. Sorry, it doesn't work that way. I've had some tops that work really good, some tops that don't fit at all, and I'm not going to screw with it. I don't want to mess this up because then it's going to mess with the other tips that I have that actually do fit it. So I just try a bunch of my tips and keep going until I find one that's nice and snug and ain't going to flop all over the place. I hate that. If you have one that's not tight enough, you'll get air leak in here and it'll cause it to get a really weird airy taste to it. I have found that out. Those are the main things I've noticed. Now, the other thing I will tell you guys is on the bottom of these, they are sealed. Now, that makes it really nice, but there's a catch to it. I run this on my Minxie, and my Minxie's post sticks up further, so it shoves that in. It's a floating pin, actually. Very carefully, if you're going to switch this to an Ego or something flatter, you need to like pull the post out a little bit with a safety pin, a razor blade, something, but make sure it's not touching that negative side. If it does, it will not work. It will not read. It will not do a damn thing. And you can cause a short. I wouldn't recommend for starters to put these on like an Ego or an Ego Twist. I would practice and make sure you get your coils perfect. ohm test them on a Provari, something else. Don't use a lava tube. I've tried many times. Maybe somebody else will have better luck. I'm trying to keep this short to 5 minutes or less. That's it. I mean, if any more questions pop up,